Welcome to Go For Side Effects. I'm your host, Kevin Simon. Y'all know my co-host, John. How you doing today?
Hey, everyone. Doing good. Thank you.
So we got a lot of information to give out in a short period of time, but it's going to be really good information, especially towards the end, which I think I know for myself and John are pretty excited about something right now. So we are coming up to our 2-year anniversary. How does it feel to know me for 2 years? How does it feel, John?
No, brother, I'm glad you came into my life. We fill up each other a lot of shit, but I'm super glad that we crossed one another's paths.
I am the most lovable son of a bitch you will ever meet. Despite what anybody says out there, no comments in the comment section. We are going to take comments tonight if anybody has any questions or anything as we go along. But John, I know you've had some issues with some medications and everything. Yeah. And John's going to brief us on, kind of what he went through with the VA and the medications. Take it away.
Okay. So let's say it's probably been 3 weeks ago by now. It's been more than that. Anyway, I had gone to my local provider, VA provider, and I had been having more aches and pains. And I said, listen, so they have me on hydrocodone. And I said, can I get an increased dose or something that makes it last longer? And she wanted to know what the problem was. I said, Doc, it's the same problem. It's just the pain is, being a little more aggressive. And the medicine you have me on just doesn't last as long. So that's where I started. And she wasn't really comfortable giving me an increase. So she referred me to the pain clinic. So I said, okay. I said, Doc, so I'm basically almost out of my medicine. I expressed to her there's some urgency here. I don't have a lot left. Can we make this happen? And she goes, yeah, we can get it done. They'll give you a phone call. So I said, okay. And I was waiting on a phone call. The phone call finally came. It was, I don't know. So it was either that. I think I don't wait too long. I'll give it a day or so. And I didn't get a phone call. So I was doing like we always tell everybody to do, advocating to myself. So I'm hammering on my healthy bet, 2 or 3 different people. Hey, I'm out of my meds. When's this going to happen? So I'm being as polite, but as urgent as I can on let's make this happen. I don't want to go into the weekend without some way to manage my pain. So that being said, this was our Monday or Tuesday. I had the meeting with my doctor. We're now upon the end of the week. So I get a phone call, and the phone call was from a pharmacist, which I didn't understand. And I was rather irritated after learning that she herself couldn't prescribe anything. She was just taking information for the provider, the doctor I was going to be seeing. Now, I don't like to necessarily bitch and complain about something unless I have a resolution to put forth. At least, I'm not saying I always do that because we all bitch a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I know I've gone off on, you've listened to me bend your ear a few times. Anyway, so I drove down to Des Moines it was well over an hour drive. But I did that because I can see the provider, and I asked, am I going to get something prescribed that day? And I was told yes, as long as there's an agreement. So I went down there. We had a little powwow. She explained some things, what she explained to me, and it's kind of interesting because that helped me with a few different things. The reason I had to go see the actual provider and the reason the pharmacist couldn't help me out, they interwork together. The pharmacist knows all the ins and outs. They're the one that's got the extensive training on the particular medicine. So after my provider explained some things, and I was like, okay, makes sense. But now what I didn't understand, and I said, how is it that, I got in a little bit of a sidebar conversation. How is it that things, let's say on the East Coast and things in the Midwest and the South and the West Coast, aren't all the same throughout the VA. She goes, you know what? That's a really good point. And it's all legalities. And that's why one doctor in this state can't treat the VA, the veteran, the same way as they can over this state because of legalities.
Really?
I'm like, what?
You didn't tell me that.
Well, it just popped in my head.
Well,
And
what
I'm
the
like,
hell you
really?
mean?
She goes,
Yeah, it pops
she
in my
goes,
head.
she goes, talk to your representatives. I said, well, why don't all VAs work identical? They all should work the same across the board. She goes, no, and I agree with you. Talk to your representatives. We need to get it put that way because it ain't that way right now. It depends on the state. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was just like, really? So I said, okay. I was like, wow, that just kind of torques me off. We're all veterans, it just, so yeah, no, I didn't share that with you, but I kind of just remembered as I'm telling my story. So anyway, so moving forward, she prescribes me. She goes, okay, I'm going to take, I don't feel comfortable. I really don't want to give you a higher dose or an extended release of your hydrocodone. I understand it's available, but I don't really feel comfortable. I'd rather give you something else. So it's something that's not, how does she say, what was the terminology? Addictive, right? I'm like, okay. She explained it. I said, is it going to have the same effect? And she goes, yeah, we've had real good success with it. That being said, I said, okay. So we talked, got along real good. Think she did me a solid. I went to the pharmacy. Along with this, they had me get, the first thing I signed for was the Narcan, which you give somebody for an overdose, a drug overdose.
That's weird.
And I actually didn't look in my bag when I first got it. She said, I gave the information. I signed for it, went out in the car, opened it up. I wanted to take a look at the med. And it was just the Narcan. I'm like, where's the hell is the medicine? So I went back in. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't see that. Had to go see the pharmacist. Took like 30 seconds, went back. I signed for it. I get out in the car. And what they give me, I don't know if people are going to see. I'm going to pronounce it for those of us who don't have a visual. The registered trademark is called Belbuca. The actual name is called, I'm going to screw this up, buprenorphine.
Hold up to the camera.
So, I can't see.
Other way, right there. Perfect.
Right there.
Yep.
That is what they prescribe me. Now, MCG, micrograms. If you open this up, it's just a little film that you put in between your mouth and gums, kind of like if you're going to have chewing tobacco, and it dissolves. And I, of course, it's not out of the pot. It's less than the size of a dime. So I said to myself, I know my body. I react really quick to any medicine. So I'm just going to wait till I get home. I even thought about pulling off at a rest stop because keep in mind, this was prescribed to me on a Friday. Okay. And I took it Friday night. Now, this is the part I don't understand. I don't remember what time it was. I remember feeling a little funky when I took it, but I thought, not a huge deal. Okay. The next morning comes around, and this little patch in here is good for 12 hours, as was explained to me. It's a 12-hour
regimen.
12-hour pain relief. Because remember, I said I want extended formula, right? Or something extended. So they did that. The next day, I don't remember exactly what time of the day. I waited till I said, okay, if this is going to last for 12 hours, let me take this at we're always in pain, but the pain's always there, but it varies. And I know when I go to eat, the pain's going to ramp up, at least in my abdominal area. So I decided always got to have a stack by at least 10 a.m. So I took what would have been the second one at roughly 10 a.m. And at I don't know, my time frames might be off a little bit. 12:30, 1 o'clock, I was telling my wife, I said, I feel kind of weird. Something isn't quite right. A little longer go on. I said, I said, I got to go lay down. I'm just not I don't feel right. So I went and laid down. And then it got to the point where I couldn't hardly lift my arms. I was having a reaction. My vision started getting blurry, and the verbals were incoherent. And my wife, keep in mind, they gave me Narcan, right? But I've never. Most people don't experience Narcan unless you happen to be some sort of drug addict or have a reaction. And my wife, or was it my daughter, tried to give me Narcan, but I was really kind of incoherent, and I was scared. I was like, I said, at this point, I'd already told them call 911, so they did, but the medics hadn't arrived. Okay, so I live in a small town, rural Iowa. The medics hadn't arrived, and I didn't want to take this stuff because I was already scared at that point, and I didn't understand. I mean, I understood what Narcan was supposed to do, but I wasn't 100% sure that this caused my problem. I don't know. You can assume, right? But not 100%. Anyway, so I did not get any Narcan, but they did take me in the ambulance. They did not. They were unfamiliar. They'd only seen this product once. And I had three, maybe three people with me. When I say people, help me out with terminology. People
Doctors, physicians,
yeah.
and
right
at the ER.
No, this was in the ambulance.
EMS.
Yes, correct. And they hadn't seen this, and they're talking to me, and my eyes, again, I had lost kind of control of my eyes, so I was having a reaction. Anyway, so I got to the hospital. So they did not give me any Narcan in the ambo. When I got to the hospital, it was explained to them what I had. My wife happened to show up a minute or two after me, and they said, well, we've only actually seen this. It took them a few minutes. And they eventually gave me Narcan IV. In an hour, I was home.
Wow.
So there's that first part of it. So now we're at Saturday evening. Okay. Saturday, I'm back home. I'm like, what am I going to do tomorrow? It's Sunday. I don't live in a major city. I'm in a rural place, relatively small town. What do I do? I didn't have an answer. Where do you get your information? I mean, I didn't feel comfortable. I remember, was it that night? I might have called the crisis line. I said, okay, I'm coming into a Sunday. I have a lot of pain, and it's going to get worse. Okay. How do we manage pain? I called the crisis line, somewhat like what you did. I talked to the nurse, and I said, what do we do? I said, I don't have any access to any pain meds. I'm out. Clearly, this stuff's a problem. What's the answer? Well, sir, I guess you're going to have to go to the ER for pain management. I said, I don't want to take up resources. I'm not dying, but I don't have any way to manage my pain. So in rural Iowa, the answer for the veterans out there, I was told that the VA doesn't have anything in place other than you go to the ER for pain management if you run out of pain meds.
That's the same thing here. I mean, I think that's probably the same thing everywhere.
Well, here again, I hadn't been down this road before. So that's okay. So it is what it is. Sunday comes and goes. Monday, I get a call first thing. So the crisis line, the nurses, I had 2 or 3 different people call me, and it was agreed. Oh, this is what I learned while I was in the hospital. This is not a VA hospital. This is a regular civilian emergency room. The doctor there explained they make this medicine with Narcan in it. That medicine is called, wait one, is it the same? I think my son, who's an RN, yeah. He said, Dad, it's the same damn thing. It's just with Narcan in it. But so I had called, and when I talked to my provider, so this pain management provider, second time now, she says, well, we'll send you this. It has Narcan in it this time. Not quite sure what happened. I'm reluctant, but I'm like, yeah, okay. They don't want to increase my dosage on my hydrocodone. We are now they overnighted it. I got it at 12:30 Monday afternoon. This time it comes in a pill form. It was 2 micrograms, I believe is what it was, with Narcan. I take it. 2 hours later, I'm having the same kind of reaction, but this time it's coming in waves. And it's almost worse because it's scarier. This time, I laid down. I was given 2 Narcans by my family members. At least, probably, now I could have this mistake because I don't have the information in front of me, 2 or 3 Narcans in the ambulance on the way down to the emergency room. So twice.
So basically you overdosed.
Yes. But keep in mind, the second time on this film, I had forgotten that I had taken this stuff. I took them as prescribed, but I don't know why the first time it didn't affect me like a second time when I took this. But yes, it was an overdose. Now, when I went to my therapist and I explained, and she goes, "Well, John, I got to ask you these questions. Don't take offense to this. It's just I have to do this. Were you trying to kill yourself?" And I said, "Hell no, I wasn't trying to kill myself. I said I took one, one."
That's what I don't understand.
And so then when I said, then later they said, "Listen, okay, we're going to put together." And I didn't write this terminology down, but on the first week of next month, I will sit down with like a group of 5 people and go over what happened to me. Oh, so now one thing. So now I should tell those listening out there, this medicine here, and I'll show it up there again. This medicine has been out since the 80s, but it has only recently been approved for the VA.
Really?
Only recently been approved for use in the VA. Okay.
Okay. So wait, I got this question. So when you went there and you were able to you were sitting there talking to 5 people, did they come up with a solution?
Well, okay. So that's not until next month, but I will let, after I have that communication, because I'm not exactly sure. Because I asked my therapist, well, can you be there with me? Which is on, it's at the VA in Des Moines. She goes, yeah, no. And she wrote down her notes and she's going to be there. And there's some other therapy they have out that they can put something on your hands or your head or something to figure out what your body's reacting to pain was or how it works.
See,
I don't know. I'm like,
that's the problem. When they put you on hydrocodone and you're used to it and your body, gets used to it, what they're doing is trying to take you off, but they're adding something else in place of it. And then that's what's messing people up. I don't get that.
And here again, I don't mind trying a different approach, but I tried not once, but twice, 2 emergency room trips later. And I'm lucky that I survived because it could have gone a lot worse. And and yes, we all know everybody's body reacts different. Clearly, my son said, "Dad, anything that ends with a fiend, you shouldn't take." I'm like, okay.
Morphine, codeine,
whatever. He says, "You can't take it, Dad." And I'm like, okay. But, and it says in my medical records at the VA, I'm allergic to, what do you mean by allergic? And I actually, before I come on the podcast, I'm like, what's the difference between an allergic reaction and a reaction? Because when I termed it as an allergic, I got counteracted in the terminology by some other professional say, well, you had a reaction. Okay. So I looked it up and I think it's the same thing, but maybe they just didn't like the idea of me calling it an allergic reaction. Okay, now there might be medical people out there saying, well, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm not a medical person. I'm not in the medical field, never have been. So this is only my personal experience. And I'm sharing it with the veterans out there so they know if you go to the doctor, this is what they're trying to do. Yeah. This is their attempt. And I'm here again. I'm willing to try different things, but right. And they did. They gave me my hydrocodone back. But now they say, now we're only going to keep you on this until the 5th. And I'm like, okay.
Well, this Carter vet, he wrote down, all right, that one goes into the records. I just probably writing it down saying, I ain't taking that freaking bullshit.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean,
so we'll know. So pretty much next week, give us an update. I want to know. I definitely want to know what they say. You're all 5 people. Congratulations, you got 5 people. I don't quite understand how you get 5 and I got 1.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Probably
maybe Kevin, that
been doing. Yeah, they told me to go to pain management. I told them no. So now, that's what we're gonna. That's the next part, everybody.
Yes.
This is where we're going to get into the outreach program. Okay, so everybody who is listening, you can go over to another Facebook page that is the sister page of Go For Side Effects. It is called the Outreach Program Act. So I'll say it again, the Outreach Program Act. The reason we created that page is so we can give people information, but we want to be able to give it to them and dummy it down so like I can read it. I wasn't the smartest one in school, and I'm proud to say it. I don't care. But over in there, that's going to be John's little baby, and he's going to give information out about, different types of medications, and like if we're coming up with new ways for people to contact, for how to deal with the pharmacies, how to deal with the doctors. And so I hate to say this, we're trying to take everything at a different angle instead of relying on the VA and the politicians. We're going to start trying to rely on veterans connecting with each other and work together. And some people will have good ideas and say, hey, you know what? There's a home remedy. Maybe we can try this. Or there's something over here. Or there's something over here. So it kind of goes back and forth. Because basically the biggest thing that people want, pain relief. Well, first they want a cure. We know that's not going to happen. Next thing they want is pain relief. Next thing they want is to be able to be back in society. Next thing they want to be able to do is probably explain to their loved ones what is going on without their loved ones freaking out and worrying about them 24/7. And that's big. You want to be able to enjoy your kids, your grandkids. We're all at the age now that we're starting to have grandkids. And so that's, to me, is a really, really big deal, is for veterans to connect. And for all, I want to thank like Go For Babies, okay, Go For Truth Seekers. I don't know if Jason runs the page or not, but I want to thank like Veterans to Veterans, Veterans Connect, and Veterans Christian. All you, I think it's like almost 135 pages that allow me to put every week our podcast on. It's helping everybody to connect one step at a time. But the biggest thing we all have to do is come together, figure out what is going on. Everybody's body is completely different. We know this. We know what our problems are in our own bodies. One thing about it, when I first started this podcast, I weighed 124 pounds. I went up to 185. Proud to say I'm at 179. I mean, I need to lose a little bit more weight, but I'm proud to say that, hey, I gained the weight, and now I need to back off. I was really happy to hear a doctor tell me to lose weight, first time ever in my life. So, and right, and discarded vet, we need functional medication and political care. I mean, it's true. Everybody needs to start being together and working between the politicians and the VA. So as vets, we need to start working with each other. How do you do that? The ones that are not with us, vote them out. The VA, train them. I'm training my doctors. I mean, my doctor, my neuropathy doctor says, Kevin, y'all were exposed to so many things environmentally. He goes, not only the shots, not only the oil rigs, the burn pits. He goes, sarin gas, mustard gas. He goes, everybody's arguing what y'all were exposed to. We've had reports from Dr. Nicholson. The vaccine was a part of it. We have other reports. I forgot the doctor's name that says, oh, it's sarin gas. Where, everybody has all this information out there, but nobody's pinpointing what can it be. So, with that being said, me and John are working together right now, and I don't know, we are studying something right now, and we're giving it a little bit of time. We have 10 patients that we're working on, and we're going to test this product out. As of right now, I can tell you with my experience that it's been a blessing. The pain is just subsided tremendously, especially my feet. It's unbelievable. And if we find this product to be true and helping out, and so far, everybody we've tried this product out, it has totally worked. And John is soon to be the next test dummy. I didn't just call you dummy.
No, I
actually got yelled at today because I called somebody my test dummy. But I'm experimenting with it. I don't know a lot about, but I'm doing so much research. But right now, I can tell you, John, to me, right now it's a game changer. And
I'm very excited because I know that neither one of us are going to give anything the thumbs up or say go for it if it don't work. If it don't work, we're going to tell you point blank, it don't work, or it does this to me, or blah blah blah. Just like me sharing the patches. Although this is something, what we're doing is something different. But what I'm suggesting is, I know that you're going to be honest. I would hope that people know that I'm going to be honest. And when I put something on the web page, I'm going to put something as factual as I possibly can. No just hearsay information. This has been either your experience, my experience, or a fellow vet that we trust. That the information is going to be solid, because there's a lot of people that just want to bitch, gripe, moan, and complain without any sort of resolution. Well, if it works, we're going to tell you it works.
And as big as this thing could be for the Go For veterans, it's huge. And right now, I'm 100% believer. Right now, I want to give it a couple more weeks. I want to learn a whole lot more about it. And then if we believe in this product, I will let everybody know the week in advance. Y'all better listen to what we got going on that, on that show. And I am working with 3 fabulous people. Hope is one of them, and she's listening. And I want to thank her because she brought this. She talked to me about it. We did it at that show, and that's whenever I was like, holy crap, I cannot believe. I've literally have really been out of pain for the last 2 weeks. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, I could tell you, I could have probably started almost crying then. I was just so happy. But in the same thing, what may work for me may work for other people, but it may take time. Like they told me, with me, it was incredible that it worked so fast. So let's take the positivity now and start building it together as a team, everybody. I mean, if y'all are listening to the show and y'all say, hey, look, you know what? We got this product that is a good cleanser. Let us know. we'll put it up there. We'll test it out. We'll do whatever it takes to help the vets. That's why I started this, and that's why John got on board.
Yeah, so Kevin and I will be as thorough as we possibly can be before we're ever going to, mention a product. We want to make sure that it works ourselves. And once that we're just two guys. We're just two military veterans who want to help other veterans out. And we're not going to, if it's just a placebo if it's just a placebo, well, placebos are,
yeah,
I'm not a psychologist, but I mean, if it's a placebo effect, meh. But if it's a real deal and it's working and there's a background, a thorough
background, you're right. We want to make sure anything that we put on our podcast or we put on our Facebook pages or we put on any social media sites is going to be 110%. And Hope asked me, are you 100% pain free? Yes, I am. I'm 100%. I'm 100% pain free. I've never been 100%. And I just want to make sure this is going to last a while. And the funny thing is, it's when we come out with this, it's going to blow a lot of people's mind. And then with that being said, everybody, I knew I was going to throw that at the end. I'm sorry, but I was excited because it fell into what we were talking about. But the one thing about it is John's going to work the outreach program. We got exciting shows coming up. We're going to have people on that are going to help the veterans. We're going to have more veterans about to go for, and we're all going to connect. And so I know that with everything that we're doing, I feel positive. I feel positive that veterans are coming together, especially that they're letting me put it on the Facebook page. And I mean, I put it on the Marines Facebook page. I was Navy. Go there. Hell, I put it on an Army page. Next week, I'm going to try to find an Air Force page.
Well, we're all veterans. We all give each other shit, but we all got each other's backs. And, we all want to help one another.
Well, it depends if you got like 4 Army against 1 Navy after we kick y'all's ass in football. I just want y'all to know that.
Here we go.
Everybody make that clear. This year, when the Navy kicks the crap, we're going to make a bet, John. We're going to make a bet. I think the bet should be in the football game. Whoever loses has to wear a dress live during the podcast.
Hell no! I'm not going to agree to that. Not right now. And we'll see what happens. That's hilarious. What? Oh,
and hey, Shane asked. He hopes that it's affordable. Shane, that's where a lot of things are going to come into play. We're working out all the details, everything on this, and to me, I feel it is affordable. And but let's give it a couple weeks. If y'all have questions, y'all want to call me about it or something like that. Shane, you got my phone number. Jason, you got my phone number. Everybody listen podcast pretty much got my phone number. Hell, I put it out there plenty of times. Call me about it tomorrow or this weekend. Well, not tomorrow, because kids got ass going to be cutting hair like damn crazy. I'm going to be going batshit crazy all over the place. But John, let's make the bet right now. Let's make a bet the Navy's going to kick the crap out of the Army in the football game.
I ain't putting on
okay, how about whoever loses has to wear lipstick?
Who won last year?
Army won last year. Huh. How about whoever loses has to at least wear lipstick? Red lipstick.
Okay, I could go that far because that's different. I put on.
All right, so everybody listening, this is the bet. The Army and the Navy game. we're going to bet the loser has to wear it in the Army and Navy game next year.
Oh my God.
And somebody asked me, is it something you digest? No, it's not something you digest. Okay. And so, and hope the Army is not going to win. I just want you to know that right now. Y'all wait. Y'all wait. And let me tell you, if I lose a bet, I keep it. I will wear the brightest red lipstick shade anybody has.
Ought to put a wig on your happy ass too.
You know what's funny though, John? And this is what's funny about it. When this goes up, I won't bet probably against the Air Force because they had the good teams, But
Yeah.
I mean, it's more fun when the Army and the Navy meet. And for all you Marines, y'all need to be on my side. Take up on my side on this.
Why? Just because they're on board, I can't make a sense. I almost said boat, but he said, "Oh, don't say boat."
Hope's over there saying, Hope said, "Hey, I'll deliver the lipstick and heels."
Listen to her. That's mighty kind of you, Hope. Thanks. We appreciate that.
Hey,
It's
she's
okay
Army,
if it goes
so
to the Navy guy.
she's Army. She's Army. So
Yeah.
everything. Guys,
okay.
what we will do, we will be giving out more information. As next week goes, I will give you a little bit more information and to tell you how everything is going. I'm not going to lie. I will tell you straight up facts on how the progression of this is going. But for right now, John, you have any last thing to say?
No, I'm really looking forward to, like you said, what we're working on. And in the meantime, back to the pain medicine. Again, I know this is like the third time, but this is what the VA is pushing right. This is what they're pushing right now, as opposed to try and get those of us who are on pain meds off onto this pain patch. Now, my provider said they've had a lot of good things happen. Okay, I'm just saying for me in particular, it didn't work out so well, which kind of sucks. And it'll be interesting because I'll be sharing what this group of 4 or 5 people has to say, or what I learned from that. Because I want all of us to kind of learn as we go, because that's why we have a various guests on, to hear their story and what they've been through.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
this
right.
is my story. We've learned some things that you've been through, and hopefully we're looking at something here in the not too distant future that helps tremendously. I'm really looking forward to this. So,
and I want to give a shout out to my wife graduating nursing school and my daughter graduating with double bachelors and everything. So I want to give them a shout out and everything. And so I want everybody to have a great night, and we will see y'all next week. Thank you for listening.
See everybody.
Thank you for listening to Go For Side Effects. If you have a story or you would like to share or just come on with any comments or questions, please email me at kevinsimon@goforsideeffects.com.